Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is February 13th. I'm sorry about missing the last couple of episodes. I missed an episode on Tuesday because I got a bit behind and then it was too much. And then yesterday I actually recorded an episode, but my audio didn't work. So I'm sorry about that. But now I'm back with a super mega bullish, gigantic, huge episode. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6.
So there's only one place to start, and that is with the announcement of Saturn devnet 1. So this is part of the Saturn upgrade roadmap that you all know. And you know, one of the really cool things that the team was trying this time was that we were going to have a lot of devnets kind of along the way. And this is the first one of those. So we're here at devnet 1. And here Langer says that we're deploying devnet 1. Changes to the devnet took a little longer than expected, but we're there. So the first official release is here, and this is on Holeshki. And to install it, you run this code that's right there. And there's going to be a lot of stuff about starting validators here in this devnet. So it's going to have deploying mega pools, depositing validators, assigning depositors, staking validators, standard and express queue system, express ticket allocation, exiting the queue, withdrawal credits, mega pool delegate upgrades, dissolving validators. So currently recovery is not implemented, and mega pools RPL staking is currently not implemented as well. And then if you need devnet ETH, then we can help you with that. And then there's a front end as well for the devnet, so devnet.rocketpool.net. And it says, we hope you have fun testing out the changes. Please let us know if you have feedback. So then there's a feedback thread as well, which you can see here. And this is Saturn 1 devnet. So this started a couple of days ago, and we've already started getting people asking questions, giving feedback. So Hululo, Lee, Yum, Phonax, of course, is with the team. And then there was Atomic Whale as well. Over here, the Atomic Whale. And just people getting involved with this. So this is really, really awesome. Like there's Kane as well popping in there, kind of answering questions. If you want to talk to the team, this is the place to be. So it's really cool that, there's eyes on this. And then Hululo, it seems like, is one of the people who's really like playing around with a lot of stuff. So it's really awesome. So there seems to be, I'm not going to go too much into the issues and stuff, but it's the testnet. This is supposed to be where things are broken / getting fixed and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm going to leave that, here if you guys want to dig into this. But go have a look at it. Go play around with it. It's really awesome. I'm really happy that, we are firmly on the path to Saturn. This was supposed to launch by the end of January, so it's like, a week and a half, 2 weeks late. I'm hoping that this time can be kind of made up in the next devnets that are coming up. It looks like the next one is going to be here at the end of March. So this one's going to run for about 6 weeks, basically, and then they're going to add more features onto it. So it's very, very exciting. Okay, and then let me see. Okay, here we've got a protocol update from Mav, and he says that ETH Denver is approaching fast. And then there's a thread here about ETH Denver where, the team is going to have an event. And if you are going to ETH Denver, you can let everyone know, and then they will give you a role, so you can kind of stay in touch with what's going on at ETH Denver. And they're going to have a small community event. And the question is this going to be on the 1st or Friday the 28th or Saturday the 1st? And if we have a look right now, it looks like pretty much everyone is open to both days. There are a couple of people who are not, just depressed, or I think it's just, either Dondo's not available on Saturday and the Broke Director's not available on the Friday, but everyone else is available pretty much both those days. So that's really cool. The second thing is, yesterday we had a community call, and that was with Langers. And this community call was really cool. There's something new that happened with this. So this took place yesterday. So if you didn't listen, then you can go and check the recording. And here the recording is available on the official Twitter account. But one of the things that I found really exciting about this call was that you could actually submit questions for Langers to be asked on a community call, which I think is a really, really smart thing that Mav has done here. It's just a nice place for everyone to put their questions, and you know that the questions will get answered. So here, Dr. Doofus had a question, Ramana had a question, Sneaky Ninja Guy had questions. My question was, why don't the team members pop into the community channels more just to shoot the shit, which I talked about Rocket Fuel last week. And it looks like, a bunch of these questions can then go to get asked on the community call. So if you want actually if you want available during the community call time, then like I said, the recording for that is available, and you can go and listen to that. And it's been posted, of course, on the official Twitter thread, which is really, really awesome as well. So great stuff, team. Okay, next we've got some official DAO business here, and this is the PDAO and IMC Treasury reports. So for the PDAO, the period of inflation in the last period was the PDAO receiving 6,615 RPL. The balance for the PDAO now 66,420. Also, that's so close. And then the IMC and GMC were paid 11,213 RPL and 4,597 RPL respectively, and you can track those numbers using the spreadsheets that Vaca maintains. But that's really nice little update there from Vaca, letting us know that all the numbers are looking good. And then next we have another Treasury report. This is from the IMC, and this is Samus updating report 32 here, letting us know the important points are that maintained a lower optimism spend of 50 RPL instead of 200. And then we also had the IMC continuing to spend a spending budget cut. And then we had 11,200 inflows and 10,700 outflows. And then there was a budget summary here as well. Right, so the balance change here for the budget summary is that period 32 saw a 18.9% change from around 2,500 RPL to 2,900 RPL. That's how much the IMC is holding, and then extrapolated months to zero balance. So there's no number in there because we have a balanced budget with a slight surplus and can continue to spend at this rate indefinitely. And then there's proof of liquidity section. As of today, we've accrued 12,700 RPL that's been deployed, including a good amount of ETH denominated funds as well. So that is really awesome. And then there's information here about the 1% price impact and how that's working and what the average of that is looking like as well. It says liquidity looks stable on mainnet, still have an uptick in liquidity on optimism, and that's probably from the Contango stuff that's going on, I think. And then there's some resources here as well, so you can track that information. So that's an error. That's fine. Yeah, so that's really cool. Thank you, Samus and Vaca, for those reports. It's always nice to keep an eye on those numbers. Okay, talking about numbers to keep an eye on, the only numbers that the people in the Rocket Pool community could talk about pretty much after the weekend and into Monday was the price of RPL. Here, we saw that there was a pump over the weekend that we talked about on Monday's episode that everyone was quite excited about. We went from $5.51 to about $9, which was awesome to see. One thing that was quite surprising for people, I think, was that the price was holding up really well after those pumps. And everyone was thinking, hey, what's going on here? We're supposed to get these pumps and then the price just dumps. We've seen this play out many, many times before, except this time it was different, kind of. So let's actually talk about what we see on Binance here instead. So if you look at Binance, you can see that the move up to $9 was quite nice. We had kind of like a double candle going from $5.51, and then the price kind of kept stable and didn't really go below $7.30 or something along those kind of numbers. $7.38. Which was quite remarkable, really, because that was still a good 40% plus higher than that local low. So it was holding up that value really nicely. And then as we got into Monday evening and Tuesday, RPL just went on the run, a huge run, and then it went from that $7.30 mark all the way up to $12. And then it really hung around at those levels for a good couple of days there. A good few hours there before on the 12th, it just kind of, on the 11th, it just kind of took a big hit down. But since then, even it had been holding up quite well in that $9 range, except then today it kind of wicked down to the high $7.70, and now it's just kind of chilling at around $8.20. So even looking at where the price is compared to the lows last week, we're still 60% above that, which is quite nice. However, we're a little bit below now where we were on Monday night. From 12 down to 8 is a 33% drop. But when you go up that much, the fact that it's holding up value at this point is actually really promising, and it's really nice to see. So that had a lot of people in the community really excited, and here we were started talking about the price, and then what happened is Kane popped in, which was really cool to see Kane here as well, and people were just like just happy about the price basically, and that is just really, really, really lovely to see. And there's some memes here as well about you buy at a high price and then it goes down quite a lot, but then a little uptick and you say yes, let's go, and then it goes down more, and then as soon as you get a little green uptick you say yes, let's go, and then it goes down a lot lower, and then you get another green uptick and you say yes, let's go. And the idea is that one of these times will be the low. You just don't know when. And sadly, I had thought the pump that we had in December up to $19.90, that had put the low in at $7, no, $8 and whatever it was at the time. I thought that was the low, but of course that wasn't the case, and we just got smacked down quite hard from there again. But hopefully this time is different, and things are going okay now. But the ratio did well. The RPL price was really strong, and like I said, even like Kane was around, and it was all really nice to see, and people were feeling good. So the price, like I said, moved really fast. It was kind of like late on the evening on the 10th, and it was just fun. So that is always a nice feeling. So yeah, RPL went from $5.01 at the low last week to $12, which is a good 140% increase. And there was a lot of noticing of this happening from places like crypto media. They were reporting on this as well, but I feel like the news is a little bit stale now for us to spend more time talking about it, but that was a really good fun time. And what's really interesting is during that period, a lot of the other tokens that RPL is normally compared against, or well, I compare it against sometimes, it made up months worth of gains and positions. So here against Eigenlayer, it did perform massively outperformed Eigenlayer here, since the beginning of November. With ZK Sync as well, all the gains that ZK Sync has had over the last few months were all pretty much wiped out in 2 days. And then with Lido as well, all the gains that Lido had pretty much from the middle of December were wiped out as well. With Lido pretty much halving in value against RPL. And here EtherFi was just decimated against RPL. Compared to a few months ago, it's just now RPL took back all those gains as well. So there was a lot going on over here where it was really exciting. The ratio, of course, was doing quite nicely as well, and it looked like over here it was at 0.0043, which is more than 100% increase since the lows of the ratio. But yeah, it was just looking good. So that was a lot of fun, and those kind of days are nice, and it's especially nice when we get a few of them back to back. So I'm definitely here for that. If you want some more of them to come along. Okay, next we had the GMC Town Hall a couple of days ago, and this was a nice call where a lot of really interesting things were discussed, and the big part of the call was actually taken up by AlphaGrowth. Their grant is coming to an end, so I think they just kind of want to share their whole experience and kind of pitch why I guess they should get another grant to keep going forward. And they said that AlphaGrowth's trial period ends this week. The team shared insights from their experience so far. So they shared what kind of things they have lined up, what they've done well, and other things like that as well. We had an update on the STAR program and where that stands right now with token motion. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, so I'll just skip over that. With Cifrin, the course is getting closer to launch, so they're setting little teasers to come out and stuff. Round 21, that's open right now, so the GMC had a meeting about that and tried to figure out who should get paid what and how we should go forward with that. And then with FOMO Factor, that's the event that's taking place during ETH Denver, and it looks like the team will be invited to speak at that, and like it'll be a nice place where you can meet the Rocket Pool team. So the GMC will be doing some signaling vote with that, like an emergency vote, and seeing how we can move things around to make FOMO factor happen. So there's a lot more detail in this notes that Shifrin put together. So thank you so much, Shifrin. So you can read those notes and get the full details if you weren't able to attend the GMC town hall meeting. And one really interesting thing that came up because of that, out of that, was this thread created by Dr. Doofus about protocol funding beyond inflation and speculation. So one of the things that AlphaGrowth brought up in the town hall was that Rocket Pool as a community, they shouldn't just rely on RPL token inflation to fund themselves. They should do such and such things like in DeFi and other activities that could help them thrive. And what's really interesting here is that this was a thread that Dr. Doofus brought up about that, like addressing Rocket Pool's funding challenges. And the core question is, how does the protocol generate revenue? And then there's the idea of Treasury getting ETH commission from the Saturn upgrades. After the Saturn upgrades, like a share of that going to the community in terms of ETH rewards, not just from RPL inflation, and how that might look. And that would, I think, need to go to a vote, because when we voted on the Saturn roadmap, part of that breakdown was how the money would only be divided between node operators and our ETH holders, and also buyback and burn. So where would this money be coming from? Like, we would have to figure all that out. But yeah, this is an interesting discussion. So if you're curious about what it's going to look like and what what shape it might take, follow this thread. There's quite an active thread with a bunch of people contributing to it and sharing ideas. This was a fresh thread on Tuesday, so you could have kept up with it, but now there's quite a lot here that you can get left behind a little bit. But the reality is that there's some really good ideas here, so definitely go and check it out. And a lot of these names of people who are contributing are those who make amazing contributions to the community, like Knoshua, Valdorf, Ishka, Dr. Doofus, of course, Vaka, Spartan as well, and Kevster, and a whole lot of others. So shout out to those people who are kind of like pulling this along. I'm sorry if I missed your name, but yeah, you can dig into this thread. There's a lot of Ramana. No, that's not Ramana. Sorry. Yeah, you can dig into it and find out what the ideas are and what's going on. But there's a lot there, so I'm not going to give you like a take by take summary of it. Okay, something really interesting happened, and that was the ETH discount is getting smaller, and this is really exciting. So we talked about this in Rocket Fuel a few days ago, where we talked about how what's happening is that the people are exiting, and they're using the ARB on exit to make it so that we get to peg, and that will kind of find an equilibrium where it's not worthwhile for people to exit for just a small ARB. But what will happen is there'll be a sweet spot where we can find a base that which people will exit. So I think at 0.5% that works out to be around 0.1 ETH per validator that you exit, which is quite nice. One thing to remember, of course, is that that can fluctuate. So just because it's 0.1 ETH today doesn't mean it's going to be there by the time you get out of the queue. So definitely keep that in mind. But once we get this base, then after that, once we have our ETH used in DeFi, like the contango looping and all that kind of stuff, hopefully it should help us get back to peg. Now, let's find this latest information if I can from someone calling it. Yeah, so the peg has gotten a bit worse from the other day when it was 0.5%. So it's like 0.579% right now, which is okay, but not amazing. But there's a lot of people waiting to exit, so I think that we're going to see that happening, and we'll get some. I'll get some information about that as it comes through. But what we've seen then, what happened is that, because we got closer to peg, people are actually coming into the deposit pool and using the deposit pool to mint our ETH. And we had 305 ETH on the 11th, and then on the 12th we had I think this was on the 12th. Yeah, yesterday we had a 632 ETH deposit. So not quite whale splash levels, but between the two of them getting very close to that. And then of course that helped a lot of validators go through the queue. So the queue right now stands at around 501 validators. and the longest the person has waited is over a month now. So this person, has had their validators waiting since January 2nd, which is 41 days ago. So it's quite a long queue, but hopefully they'll get through it soon. But that's definitely quite interesting, I think, to see that. Okay, so one of the things we've been talking about Rocket Fuel a lot recently is Liquity V2 and how they're using our ETH. Well, it looks like there's some issues with Liquity V2. Of course, this is an immutable platform and protocol, and once it's out there, then that's it. But here, Liquity team on the 12th yesterday made an announcement saying that the team was informed of a potential issue affecting its earn pools, which are the stability pools, and is currently investigating a potential impact of that. So the team is working on confirming this. This is what they said yesterday. But out of an abundance of caution, that you should exit your money, your deposits from the liquidity pool. They said Bold remains fully backed and redeemable, so there's no problem with that. Borrowers can withdraw their collateral assets, there's no problem with that. And staked liquidity token positions are not impacted, so there's no problem with that as well. There was just the issue at the time with the stability pool. And today then we got some more news from the Liquity team saying that yesterday's issue with the stability pools has been confirmed. So that is a confirmation now. They said users are strongly advised to close their stability pool earn positions in Liquity V2, and to the team knowledge, no users thus far have been impacted, and the issue is isolated to the stability pool. So they said all other parts of the system are unaffected, and Bold remains fully backed and redeemable. So they said what they're going to do is redeploy the Liquity V2 protocol with a patch, and they'll update it via their official channels, so Discord and Twitter next week once that information is available. So they said that it's strongly advised to only interact with the front ends that and to make sure that you're using the correct ones, because if you don't do that properly, then all your money can be stolen. So this person asked the question like, will you need to unstake LQTY? So it's all going to be redeployed. So yeah, what you need to do then is withdraw everything and just wait for the redeployment and then come back in again. But like they said, that there's no issues with Bold, there's no issues with redeeming and getting your crypto back. So that's good. I'm wondering what's going to happen with the forks here as well. Like all the different forks that have launched on different chains, they'll probably have to redeploy as well. So yeah, if you're in any of those positions, please take quick action and keep yourself safe. Okay, next we're going back to the Discord, and here we have an update from the Sad Broke director talking about AlphaGrowth and whether or not it should continue in the community. So here the director said, AlphaGrowth and Rocket Pool pilot program comes to a close this week. We'd love to hear any feedback on our collaboration. Feel free to share your thoughts in the chat here or by direct messaging the director. And AlphaGrowth would like to continue our collaboration with the Rocket Pools DAO, and your input will help us understand if the community would like to see us continue our services to the DAO. So they're seeking feedback, they're seeking information, and you can provide that if you want. If you have strong feelings one way or another, you can let them know or let the community as a whole know. And then there was a post here from the Sad Broke director as well, giving some context to the work that they did. So, what they think were their successful projects, what kind of incentives they were able to get, what kind of projects they were able to launch, and what they have coming up going forwards. Things like, they were saying that they got 100k OP tokens, they got incentives for different liquidity pools, they got the compound finance on Contango, Uniswap, Mountain Protocol incentives for providing liquidity on different places. And then, showing that liquidity did increase massively, and way more than like Lido and others. And then they're saying that, coming up, they want to keep working on the Arbitrum Treasury stuff, and other things as well. So if you have any feelings one way or another about AlphaGrowth, then let them know, and I'm sure they will be happy to hear that stuff. Okay, we got an interesting development out of Coinbase this week, and Coinbase here said that they're adding base, send and receive support for RPL. So what does this mean? This means that if you have RPL and Base, which is actually interesting because there's not that much to do on Base with RPL and there's not much liquidity there, but hopefully this might change things, is if you have RPL and Base, you can now deposit that directly to your Coinbase account without needing to go through mainnet. And if you have RPL on Coinbase, then you can withdraw that to Base without needing to mainnet as well. So this just makes it a lot easier for people to get access to their RPL on, in the Coinbase ecosystem. It's a lot cheaper, of course, to deposit in and out of Coinbase and Base than it is to do it on mainnet. So that's actually really nice. And, that's awesome. They've done a whole bunch of other tokens as well that you can check out if you read the tweets. I'm not going to go over it right now. Okay, there's a little interesting piece of governance that came up a couple of days ago, and Val's kind of moving this along. And this is miscellaneous votes around Saturn that need to be kind of tied up by the community. This isn't all of the votes that are outstanding, but just some of the votes that are outstanding. And it's like he wants to ratify things so they become crystal clear. Like here, there is some miscellaneous things that need to be ratified, such as two transaction deposit strategy instead of a 3 transaction deposit strategy, language on how to count vote eligible RPL within the mini pool, a mega pool even, a guardrail on the time before dissolve parameter, and removing a process that is no longer needed because proofs can be used instead now. So that's like limiting the ODAOs, like taking away one of their duties. This is the part that I found really interesting, which is prioritizing the RETH withdrawal buffer. So this is for people who are wanting to... Let me make sure that I'm explaining this properly. So if you exit a validator right now, then that... No, okay. No, that's not the right one. If you mint RETH right now in the deposit pool, because there's a queue of validators, then your RETH is going to that queue, and that's because the buffer is empty right now. However, if we did this, then what would happen is that instead of the ETH that you minted going to the deposit pool, it would then go into the buffer if the buffer was empty. So this Val says they can still take the hit, the deposit pool, if our buffer overflows, but this means we aren't encouraging more supply while we have an oversupply. He says, I think it also sends the right message of our priorities, making a strong LST is more important than getting node operators to do the queue faster when we have an oversupply. So this is the key piece of information here that I think is really good, is that we try to keep the full buffer. So if people then want to burn their RETH and get ETH back, there should hopefully be some available there for them to do that. And then finally, this is the permissionless dissolves, and this is a way that they're trustless in Saturn, which means that you can remove one of the ODAO duties. So Val then, didn't really get much engagement on this, so he was wondering, next step to do. And then Deefa said he read through all, but nothing really controversial in his opinion. So then Val took it to vote, and for all 3 different sections, 100% of people said that we should be moving this to vote, and it looks like they'll be coming up for vote soon after they get through the RPIT process, I guess. So that was a nice little update there from Val. So thank you for that. Okay, next we got a little tidbit here from Knoshua, which is quite interesting. So Knoshua came into the treegen thread and started asking questions about how version 10 tree is calculated and how it all works and what it looks like. And he says that, trying to understand different parameters and like how they all work together. And Patches was like, I'm sure anyone who wants to do an implementation would get it. And Knoshua replied by the Knoshua thunk emoji. And Patches says, oh no, I think I've been thunk sweated. And then Knoshua says, I guess I got it barely. And then Patches says, wait, are you implementing a treegen? And Knoshua says, well, probably better to say I'll try to implement a treegen. That's actually really cool. We're always looking for new people to be implementing treegens and like trying to get that information like looking good. And then he said, like, a little bit of it yesterday, he says he's been interacting with the smart contracts and kind of playing around with it and, asking some more questions. So, Ramana, of course, has his own treegen that he does as well, and then there's the official treegen that is the one that Patches works with, and then the ODAO use. But yeah, that's nice to get more eyes on the process, and hopefully it'll work out well for everyone. Okay, next we have yeah, we have some really cool branding stuff from Sleety, who's kind of messing around with some designs about Rocket Pool, and then he had this GIF with Ethereum, built on Ethereum, and then it gets rearranged to Ethereum is built on Rocket Pool, and it turning orange, which was awesome. And then there was a still image here built on Ethereum, which looked really good. And then there was some ideas and suggestions of what you could do instead. And here, Bossy was posting it as well, and Sleety said, you're welcome to go ahead and do that. Like, it's not a problem. So then I kind of did that as well, sharing Sleety's art, which you can see here. So I said, Ethereum and Rocket Pool, name a more Ethereum aligned protocol. I'll wait. And this is built on Ethereum, and this got like 5,000 views and like 268 likes, which is a whole lot of likes. So that was really awesome. Like, people just love Sleety's work, even if they don't know that it's Sleety's work. So that was really, really cool to see. Now, we actually had Sleety's grant starting. So here we have Schifrin reminding us that we can submit work for Sleety to do, and because now the GMC's hired Sleety for his art, and you can add it to this queue on the forum, or wherever whether it's a meme, an infographic, some kind of animation, some kind of artwork that's related to Rocket Pool. It will get filtered by the GMC, who kind of like add a level of importance to it and urgency, and then it'll get added to Sleety's list of things to do. But there's already a few ideas in there, and there's a bunch of things that the community, like, we already want Sleety to work on, like the STAR program and things like that. So this is really, really awesome to see. Okay, let's move on to some staking news now. And the main staking news of the day, well, no, there's a lot of staking news of the day, but today we're going to start with some client updates, and everyone is getting ready for, the Pectra hard forks. So they are getting their clients out. So this is Nimbus, and Nimbus, this is version 25.2.0. And this is a low urgency release for mainnet. However, if you are on Sepolia or Haleshki, then this is a high urgency update to get Pectra ready. So there's some information in there about what it's doing, but it's basically just getting Pectra ready for the for the testnets. And then we also had Geth, I think. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, I think there was an update on Geth as well. I don't know why that didn't come up. Maybe I missed that. But yeah, there's a Geth update as well, I believe. So I'll try to find that information for you all tomorrow. Okay, so another piece of interesting news came from the Ethereum Foundation, and here, we saw recently that the Ethereum Foundation was going to use about 50,000 of its ETH to put into DeFi. Well, we got news them using 45,000 of that ETH. So they said the Ethereum Foundation Treasury has deployed 10,000 ETH into Spark, 10,000 ETH into Aave Prime, 20,800 ETH into Aave Core, and 4,200 ETH into Compound. So this is, we're grateful for the entire Ethereum security community that has worked diligently to make Ethereum DeFi secure and stable. So this is absolutely awesome news. So then they've got 5,000 of that 50,000 left. So the Ethereum Foundation said more to come, including exploring staking. And they said, if you have suggestions or ideas for future deployments, reply in the comments below and let us know. And then I said, there's only one staking protocol that should even be in the running for your staking, and that's Rocket Pool. Mint our ETH, and know that you have the most Ethereum aligned LST out there. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the Ethereum Foundation does with that 5,000 ETH, and whether they're going to be adding more to that pile or not. But that's actually really cool to see. So good job, Ethereum Foundation. Okay, this was actually the biggest staking news of the last few, well, for something that we've been waiting for a while, since I guess the new government was came in the US, and that is adding ETH staking to the ETH ETFs. So here news broke from Tree News saying that 21 Shares proposes staking for Ethereum ETFs, and that's with the filing that they did. And what's really interesting here is that the language of the filing was that they are making an amendment, not a new application. So I think that this should go through quite quickly if I understand it correctly. If it's a new application, then it can take months for it to go through the systems. But if it is true that it's just an amendment and then just adding that paragraph that Gary Gensler made them take out, then hopefully it will be the case that this can happen quite quickly with the approval. Now, this is good and bad. Now, the good thing, of course, about this is that hopefully people will buy ETH to pump, and they'll pump our bags, to stake it. Bad is, how is this going to work with fork choice, and just how much ETH is going to get into these hands? Who are they going to be staking it with? If it's someone like Coinbase, that could get them really dangerously big. The way it could impact finality. Will there be an RETH component? Sorry, not RETH, an LST component to it, where maybe they mint RETH? Like, there's a lot of unknowns about this yet. It looks like, in the first instance, it's just going to be these ETF providers running their stake, either using professional services of some kind or running it in-house. Like, for example, Bitwise bought a staking service, so they'll probably be using that. But it looks like they're getting ready for it, and that's really interesting to see. So that is definitely big news, and hopefully that will allow massive amounts of ETH to flow into the ETFs. But one of the interesting things to remember is that, the ETFs don't actually, you'll be getting 2.5 or 3% rewards, staking rewards on an asset that's hugely volatile that can move more than that in one day. So, how attractive will this be for people? I don't know. It's yet to be seen. But if you have a long-term perspective, then staking just makes sense. Okay, EthStaker today had a call with the rescue node. So they said that, we learned about the rescue node service available to Ethereum stakers in a conversation with Patches, Next Block, that's Ken, and Popash. They're the people who are involved in running the rescue node. And there's a notification for the live stream. It was on YouTube. So if you just follow the link in the description, the one that was for the live stream, that will actually just be a recording of the event now that took place earlier today. So that's really, really awesome to see. And they said they will have a POAP available for minting during that call as well. So good stuff. Okay, we've got some more staking news here, and this is news from Wanda from NodeSet saying that Constellation reward claims are now live on mainnet. You can head to your Constellation dashboard to view the rewards info, process mini pools, and claim process rewards for both Heleshki and mainnet. So there are some user experience quirks that we're still working on, but we're confident that everything works behind the scenes and wanted to get it out to you as soon as possible. So here are the instructions for claiming. Use the process mini pools button to process any number of your mini pools. This will create a transaction which sweeps your mini pool balances back into Constellation, and that will cost approximately 488,000 gas per mini pool. It says once you submit this transaction, please wait for around 5 minutes for our server to refresh the change data. That's a temporary quirk. It'll be fixed soon, and then refresh the page. And then use the claim button to submit a transaction to claim all of your process rewards. That'll cost around 70,000 in gas. To make sure you follow steps 1 and 2 to process everything first, or you'll only receive a subset of your rewards. Again, to see the rewards page update, you'll need to wait 5 minutes and refresh the page, but your rewards will be in the wallet immediately after submitting the transaction, well, 12 seconds later. And we will continue to improve the UX over time, but feel free to ask any questions over in the node operators thread as usual. And as always, thanks for being a NodeSet node operator, and happy claiming. So that's actually really nice that they've got that done. Congratulations on the NodeSet guys to getting that pushed out. I know it's something the community has wanted for a while. The next thing now will be to get XRETH integrated into DeFi stuff, and that of course is on the Gravitar team. Hopefully they'll do that soon. Okay, we've got a little bit of information here from Nixo about the all core devs that happened today. All core devs call, and Nixo said it's spicy call today, and there was pretty strong consensus from the Petra retrospective post that the people want faster fork cadences. That's going to mean less dilly-dallying about scope and more aggressively presented opinions. So Lefteris here asked a question, the TLDR of the spiciness for the comments, faster cadence is good, so long as it's tested well and we don't end up messing things up. And Nixo here actually kind of explained what the takeaway was. She said, basically a soft decision was made to aim for a Fusaka spec freeze in about a month. So people had to take strong stances about what they thought should be considered a shoo-in at this point. So PeerDAS had good consensus, but EOF was a bit contentious. Also, there was an ask from the testing team to have a standard for spec tests to reduce testing bottlenecks, and there was a bit of contention about whether this will create a gating mechanism or adds overhead for teams who are already using their own spec tests. So I thought this was really interesting. We'll have a summary of the whole call probably for tomorrow, but yeah, I think, we're getting ready for Pectra, all thoughts on Pectra, and we're already actually looking ahead of Pectra now to see how to make things faster, because that's something the community desperately wants. Okay, one of the big announcements this week on the Ethereum front, so this Ethereum news here, was the launch of Unchain. This is Uniswap's chain that they launched as a roll-up on Ethereum, of course, and Unchain mainnet is live, so it's fast with low fees. It's built for cross-chain liquidity and provides decentralization from day one, and you can deploy your DeFi apps, launch tokens, swap, provide liquidity, and more. So I think it's going to be a general purpose chain, not just like an app chain basically for Uniswap, which is really exciting. One of the really cool things about this is that it actually launched on day one as a stage 1 rollup, which is absolutely awesome to see. That's of course because they can tap into the optimism, work that's happened there and use it for themselves. That's really awesome to see. So good luck to Unchain. Another chain comes along. It's really exciting. Let's actually have a quick look at L2B to see what kind of activity it's getting. I think at the moment it's not being used too much. So Unchain is number 27th, and it has 18 million, I think, of TVL, which is next to nothing. And it's a stage 1 optimistic roll-up. So let's see what it's looking like. Here's the value. Yeah, so it's actually getting decent activity. No, actually it's not getting, it's getting like almost zero activity. So sorry about that. So it's getting like, a handful of transactions a day. So there's not much going on there right now, but I'm sure that, Uniswap are going to put their weight behind it and get Unchain to be huge in the, days and weeks and months to come. And then finally, we have some news from Liquity Financial. Of course, this is Donald Trump's DeFi platform, and they are proposing their new initiative, which is a strategy of investing in tokens. They're calling it macro strategy, a strategic token reserve designed to bolster leading projects like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies at the forefront of reshaping global finance. So this was an announcement kind of written by ChatGPT, very much, but they kind of explain what the purpose of macro strategy is, and it's to serve as a robust financial backbone for Liquity Financial that enables them to enhance stability, foster growth, build trust, and then they also want strategic partnerships with traditional finance institutions. And, so they want more blockchain visibility, innovative marketing opportunities, and joint PR. And then there's a call to the community about how they can get involved as well. So this was seen by a whole lot of people, but it's going to be interesting to see how it ends up going. So I'm going to end the episode on that note. So thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I'm sorry that I missed episodes for the last couple of days, but you got a mega episode today to kind of make up for that, and I hope that the news wasn't too stale. But and otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, there will be no weekly orbit this week because Pat is traveling and he's not in a position where he can record. So we'll be back with weekly orbit next week. So thanks everyone. Bye.